Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another character breakdown for Pokémon Unite. We've gone through a couple of different characters over the past couple of weeks, and things look a little bit different for the character that we are covering today. We've been covering them mostly chronologically based off of the ones that I have unlocked, or from the lower value to the higher values, but today's character was actually given out for free as a part of the 14-day login calendar, and they do have a decent amount of application. That, of course, is the most recent fire starter from the 8th generation of the Galar region, that being Cinderace. And Cinderace did see a couple of nerfs since the game has released, so you don't see them being used as often, but there's still a lot of really good application for this character because they're still very strong offensively. So let's have a closer look at their abilities and how they function so you can get better use out of this character, and I'll give you my thoughts as to why I prefer playing this character the way that I do. So first off, the base ability that you start off with for one of the leading abilities is Ember, which will shoot out a small flame, deals damage to the opposing Pokemon, and those burned Pokemon will have their attack decreased for a short amount of time, which is good for early game control, especially while you are encountering opponents that are layering in multiple attacks to you. But upon reaching level 7, you can opt for one of two different abilities. The one that I prefer is the default option here, that being Pyro Ball. And the reason I really like this ability is because the orb itself will move through a series of opponents instead of making contact with a singular target. This does leave that burn effect on the opponent, though it's not clear as to whether or not it decreases their attack. And upon being upgraded to Pyro Ball Plus, it will reduce the cooldown of either Flame Charge or Feint, which are the secondary abilities that we'll look at in just a moment. That's a really good thing to see because, especially with Feint, it has a very lengthy cooldown of 13 seconds. So being able to have that ability more readily on cooldown certainly helps quite a bit. Now, if you do choose to opt for Blaze Kick, this is still a very decent option, as it involves a fiery kick that always results in a critical hit and will push the Pokemon backward as well as leaving them burned for a short period of time. And while using Blaze Kick, Cinderace is immune to the different status effects or slowing conditions that can be applied to them. So that is really convenient for kind of getting through some rougher terrain or areas that have been affected by attacks from other opponents. Upon being upgraded, the Blaze Kick will have the basic attack speed increased for a short period of time after the move connects, but at the same time, it's not the greatest in terms of the application because I like having the rotating abilities and being able to reduce the overall timing between unleashing my ability attack. So I do think the Pyro Ball is a little bit better, and additionally, it has a shorter cooldown, albeit by just a singular second when compared to that Blaze Kick. Now, if we go over and have a look at the Flame Charge, or not the Flame Charge, but the secondary ability, it starts out as a low sweep, which is a slide in a general direction that you can choose when using the ability, and it will deal damage to any opponents that it hits. It's a relatively short-spaced dash type move, but you can then upgrade it to either Flame Charge or Feint on level 8. And the reason that I really prefer Flame Charge to Feint really comes back to the cooldown, especially where this has a 6-second cooldown, and you can drastically reduce that by using a Pyro Ball in between uses of your Flame Charge. So ideally you can Flame Charge, Pyro Ball, and then after a short second or two, use that Flame Charge again for really bursty damage against your opponent. And this will deal damage to any opponent that you come in contact with while using it, and upon being upgraded, the user's next move will also decrease the movement speed of your opponent for a short period of time. So that further inhibits the ability of your opponent to retreat away from combat. Now, Feint still has some really nice applications because it will increase the user's movement speed as well as make the user invulnerable, which is really nice for getting around Unite moves or heavier hitting attacks from the many different enemies that you encounter and try to gather points from throughout the map. But again, the biggest drawback for me here is the 13-second cooldown that it has, especially where the bonus applications of Feint don't come into effect until you get to the upgraded version. And granted, that's a really nice addition that you have of being able to restore hit points up to 3 times after using this ability, but you've got to wait a long time for that application to come through. Now, if you're playing in a group of people that you trust or queuing up with a group of friends that, again, you trust going into combat with, then using Feint may be a little bit more beneficial, especially if you have other attackers on your team that are more capable of that bursty damage. We've talked about Crustle and how he can really put the hurt on his opponent. So if you're going to push with a Crustle and a Cinderace, and you know that your Crustle is very competent in the way that they play, then you really shouldn't have a whole lot of trouble with this. And to just kind of finish out the conversation about Cinderace, his Unite move works really well. It's the Blazing Bicycle Kick. This is a large ball of flame that hits down into designated location. It unleashes a fierce shockwave that deals large amounts of damage to the Pokemon in that area of effect, and will also increase Cinderace's movement speed for a short time after the ability hits. And I mean, that's pretty standard, or the bonuses that come with that are pretty standard, and it's a decently large area of effect type attack as well. So still a lot to take into consideration with Cinderace to get good use out of the character. The ability that Cinderace has while carrying out combat is Blaze. This will increase the attack to become boosted after using one of the special abilities that they possess. And when hitting into an opponent with a basic move, you will build up Cinder Charges, which can eventually convert over to a Flare Charge that will deal some constant damage to the opponent passively while they are under the effect of that Flare. The only other bonus that comes along with this is that when Cinderace is down at or below half health, the critical hit rate of the basic attacks and the basic attack speed will be increased. So you get a little bit more efficiency for playing on the lower end of your health, which generally means that you want to kind of avoid using recovery type abilities or items such as the potion when in combat. And then of course the basic attack sequence, it's fairly standard. There are 3 different hits, and that last attack has a stronger, harder hit. But that's really what we needed to go over in terms of how Cinderace behaves. So let's now jump over into a round of ranked combat and see how we handle ourselves over there. Alright, here we are in our ranked match with our team. We've got a Snorlax hanging out with us, so I think that that's going to be actually really awesome to see, or to have. Mainly because Snorlax really can put the hurt on some of our opponents here. So let's go ahead and take out this Ludicolo, because that's going to be some really nice experience for us. And just barely got out of the way of his water gun, so that's awesome as well. Now let's move up and confront the Bouffalant. And I think we got the experience out of that. So let's keep moving. And let's come support our Zeraora that's down here. And our Froakie as well. Wow, their Eldegoss is already up, huh? Ooh, let's retreat back, because we're gonna die if we stick around. And the eject button is actually something that I feel that's super awesome, because it's one of those, you know, get out of jail free type moves that can be used. Ah, dang it, we ended up getting taken out by the delayed blast off of the Eldegoss there, but we're okay. But it's got a much longer cooldown than a lot of the other battle items that you can use, but if you are in a really tight space, it's nice to be able to just kind of bail and get out of there. Okay, let's see if we can't Oh boy, these two are teaming up really nicely with each other, which is not great. We need to level up to our Raboot, because we don't get either of our abilities until after that's been done, which is problematic, especially when we keep dying to these guys. Okay, I'm gonna go up this way, just because I need to be able to level up and get better abilities, and I'm not going to be able to do that with the Alolan Ninetales and the Eldegoss that are just camping down there. Okay, there we are. That'll get us to level 5. And this should get us to level 6. And level 7 is where we get access to a different move. There we are. Now let's opt for the Pyro Ball. And then, oh, we've had a goal zone go down on this end. That's not great. But... oh, that Rotom is actually very low. And we got him down. So now let's opt for the Flame Charge. And... there we go. Nice work there, and we even got our Charizard buddy to level up there too. Ooh, that was probably a wasted use of the eject button, but we've made a significant push there. We're still trailing a little bit, but now I feel like I can come back down and offer more support to the Greninja down here, because I'm in a better spot level-wise. Oh, did you take him out? Or did he end up getting away? Okay. We put the hurt on them, but weren't able to actually take them out. It'd be helpful. There we go. The Crustle went down. That's actually really nice. But now we've got some pressure coming on from this end. How is he moving so fast? Oh, he used his Extreme, or his Unite move. That's how he's moving away so fast, because he shouldn't be able to. How did I get... what did I get hit by is the better question. Let's come support the Snorlax, because as powerful as Snorlax is, it's difficult for him to do 2v1s. There we are. Take out the rest of these Combi Vespiquens. And I probably should have used my Unite move there against them, if I'm being completely honest here. But that's okay. Okay, we've got Pyro Ball Plus now. Oh, they've got the Rotom on their side now, which is not what I was hoping to see out of them. Yeah, I need I should be able to do fine here against this Rotom since I'm healing up against it. But it's certainly pretty painstaking. There he is. At least he didn't get the free points on us there. Oh, get him. Don't let him score. Come on. Dang it. See, there's reasons that I don't really like Raboot as a character, or Cinderace as a character, and it simply has to do with the fact that he is not as viable as he used to be. And especially if your team isn't supporting you and helping out, then you're just going to end up taking the back seat to really every interaction that you get into. And I have some team members that we've played fine with in this game even, but if you don't have people there supporting you and helping you out, then you really just kind of end up in a world of hurt. But let's see if we can get in on some of these opponents here. And wow, we just got annihilated by that Solar Beam. If we want to pick up the victory, we've really got to focus in on the Zapdos, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to, because the last team member that we have is our Snorlax, and he's currently struggling pretty bad to keep up with them. And yeah, that's indicative of that as well. Oh, we did end up getting it. That's awesome. Okay, we just need to avoid our opponents, and as long as we can get that goal off. We're in a really good spot, actually. And that Venusaur panicked and missed his Solar Beam. Not like we needed it anyway. And that's really going to do it for the end of the game here, but we were able to close things out very nicely, and as long as this Snorlax, which I think he was, able to chase off the opponent there, we were able to pull that back out. So there is a lot of power behind Cinderace and being able to close out some of those encounters, and I really think that our push there at the end at the Zapdos really helped us finish out that fight. However, I don't have as much fun playing with Cinderace as I do other characters, simply because I feel like his applications are fairly niche. But if you disagree, feel free to let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, and maybe I missed something and I should be using a different strategy when using Cinderace. So if you've got feedback on that as well, I'd love to hear it. Thanks for your time, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.